Hi, my name is Victoria Somayan, and I'm going to be speaking to you about today about bullying and its effects on children. So you may have heard of the quote, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And this may have been said to you as a form of comfort in a time of loneliness or when you have felt defeated, but is it accurate? It's not 100% wrong, but words can hurt someone a lot more than sticks and stones can. And this is a huge problem in our current generation, and it's called bullying. About 49% of students from 4th grade through senior year of high school reported being bullied by other students at least once every month, and 30.8 reported that they bullied others during that time. And most people think bullying is just calling people names or like calling them ugly names or making fun of someone, and that is one form of bullying, but in total there are 4 main types of bullying that have affected millions across the world. And that is verbal, like I said before, social bullying, physical bullying, and cyberbullying. And almost everyone has been affected by bullying in some type of way, but there are some groups of people who are targeted even more. And I will go more into detail with that later in my speech. So the worst and saddest part about bullying is the negative effects it has on children. And this is one of the reasons why many kids go through depression and anxiety, and even worse, suicide. And there are also many ways to prevent bullying, but let's begin with some statistics. So over 3.2 million students are victims of bullying each year. And 160,000 students skip school each day because of bullying. And this is just shocking to me. 1 in 4 teachers see nothing wrong with bullying and only intervene 4% of the time. And intervening is one of the key ways to stop bullying in and outside of the classroom, but so many kids are afraid to do this in fear of being bullied and made fun of themselves. So physical bullying increases in elementary school and peaks in middle school, and declines a little in high school, but verbal abuse, social abuse, and cyberbullying always remain constant. So the first type of bullying I'm going to talk about is verbal bullying. And this is pretty much writing or saying bad or mean things about someone to someone. And this pretty much includes teasing, name-calling, inappropriate sexual comments, taunting, or threatening to cause harm. And now you probably ask yourself, like I do, what possesses someone to talk like that to someone else, especially if they tell them to stop? And this is because the bully might be doing this to impress their friends or build some type of reputation, or they have probably been bullied themselves and they feel like they need to take it out on someone else, or they're just craving the attention and have lack of a self-esteem. And verbal abuse is actually the most common type of bullying, as 77% of students report to have experienced verbal abuse in school. And with verbal abuse, the goal of the bully is to degrade the victim so they look dominant and powerful. And all the types of bullying I'm going to speak about pretty much focuses on creating a situation in which the victim feels like dominated by the aggressor. And this can happen verbally as well as physically. And physical bullying is involving hurting someone's body or their possessions. And this includes hitting, kicking, spitting, pushing, and breaking someone's possession. Like let's say you own a paper and the bully will come and break it. That's considered physical bullying. And the majority of physical bullying happens at school or in a setting where there's a large number of students, such as, let's say, soccer practice or any activities or event or summer camp even. And physical bullying and almost every other type of bullying is most common in middle school because this is the age where kids pretty much want to look cool and they want to fit in with their peers. And according to a survey by StopBullying.org, 43% of students fear harassment in the bathroom at school, and 282,000 students are physically attacked in secondary schools each month. And physical bullying is more likely to occur among males, although females are perpetrators and or victims. And physical bullying also crosses the line with sexual harassment and sexual assault. And students who physically bully other kids often have trouble with self-control and following rules and caring for others. And this pretty much can lead for further problems in life, such as criminal behavior or violence. And the next type of bullying is social bullying, and this is pretty much, oh my god, I forgot to write the rest of it, which pretty much hurting someone's reputation or relationships. And this pretty much includes leaving someone out on purpose, telling other people not to be friends with someone, or spreading rumors about someone or embarrassing them in public. And what is especially hard for the victim of social bullying is to differentiate if they're being pranked by one of their friends. Like, you know how sometimes we bother our friends by making fun of them, but we don't really mean it. So that's what's really hard for them, because they can't tell if they're being pranked or if the bully's actually meaning it. And this is harder for them to stand up for themselves and seek support. And social bullying causes many kids to not want to be in a social setting, so they'll start participating in school activities or events in fear of being made fun of. And the next type of bullying, which is probably the most prominent nowadays, is cyberbullying. And this is bullying that takes place over digital devices or social media platform. And cyberbullying can occur through texting, apps, social media, and even video games. And this pretty much includes sending, posting, or writing negative and mean content about someone else online, or sharing their personal or private information. And the percentages of people who have been victims of cyberbullying have nearly doubled from 18% to 34% from 2007 to 2016. And only 40% through 50% of victims are aware of the identity of the bully. And I already said this, that it's pretty much common nowadays because everyone's always on Twitter and social media, and it happens a lot with celebrities and stuff. You'll see comments like, oh, you're so fat or whatever, and that's all cyberbullying. And no single factor puts a child at risk of being bullied or bullying others, but it can happen anywhere, and there's some groups who are targeted even more, and that's the LGBTQ youth and kids with disabilities. So the LGBTQ youth frequently deals with bullying in the form of harassment, violence, and physical attacks. And studies have shown that LGBTQ students who are constantly being verbally abused more than 24 times a day. And according to a 2007 study by the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network, 86% of LGBTQ youth report being harassed at school every day. And students with disabilities are a heavy target of bullying as well. And in the US, only 10 studies have been conducted on the connection between bullying and kids with disabilities. And these studies found that children with disabilities were 2 to 3 more times likely to be bullied. And students with learning disabilities, autism, emotion disorders, or speech or language impediments report greater rates of bullying than their peers without disabilities. So the main focus of my speech is to educate you guys on the horrible effects that bullying has on children. And kids who experience bullying can experience negative physical issues and mental issues such as depression, anxiety, a change in their eating and sleeping patterns, and decreased grades. And kids who are bullied may also act like everything is okay and kind of put up a shield, but inside they're struggling mentally. And the majority of children won't report being bullied in fear that it might get worse and people think that they're weak and they're just looking for attention, which isn't true. These kids should seek support and talk to their teachers and talk to their parents. And another horrible effect of bullying is that children will force themselves to believe that they deserve to get bullied, leading them to not even want to be alive. And that's where you see the relation between bullying and suicide. And the media and various news outlets often link bullying with suicide, but what they're insinuating is that bullying is the direct cause of suicide. And it's not accurate, and it's potentially dangerous to present bullying as the cause or reason for suicide, because the media is basically saying that suicide is a natural response to bullying. And although kids who are bullied are at risk of suicide, bullying alone is not the cause. Many issues contribute to suicide risk, including depression, problems at home, and trauma history. And the risk of suicide can be increased further when these kids are not supported by their parents, peers, or their teachers at school. And according to a study by Yale University, victims of bullying are between 2 to 9 times more likely to consider suicide than non-victims. And according to the CDC, suicide is the third leading cause of death among young people, resulting in about 4,400 deaths per year. And suicide is a very serious topic, and we can all help those struggling with these thoughts and help prevent suicide and bullying altogether. So to wrap up my speech, there are 4 key ways to prevent bullying, and that is, one of them is to helping kids understand what bullying is. If we talk to children and help them understand what it is, it's easier to identify, and it'll help them seek support. And we also have to keep the lines of communications open, meaning that parents should keep constant communication with their kids in order to really see how their child is doing and always offer them advice and know that they are there for them. And we must also encourage kids to do what they love. We need to help kids be involved in activities they're passionate about and interests and hobbies. And this will help them build their confidence as well. And the 4th is to model how to treat others with kindness. You've probably heard of the saying, monkey see, monkey do, and it's true, because if kids see their parents or people they look up to being nice to people and always being respectful, they will do it as well. So we must all come together to make this world a better place and stop bullying altogether. Thank you.